Yo, what's going on, guys? Jared here. Today we're going to be talking about Gimmick Puppet. I think this is the last deck coming out of Infinite Forbidden that you really need to worry about when talking about preparation in terms of the event. For the NAWCQ, that is. Of course, this deck is very hyped up right now, and the reason it's hyped up is because it is a new FTK deck that is coming out that weekend, which means that you need to be playing hand traps somewhere in your deck so that you do not auto lose to the dice roll against this deck, because this deck will just beat you on the spot before you have time to even use something like Droplets, Dark Roar, or anything like that. So again, we need to keep this in mind when we are talking about the NAWCQ. And yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. And if you enjoy this content, please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, guys, so here is Gimmick Puppet. Again, we're going to do the normal thing where we go over the new cards that are coming out in Infinite Forbidden that make this deck work now, as opposed to what it was doing, the reason why it's good, and we're going to go over every single card just so that we know what we're dealing with and where we have to interrupt them. And the first card, and probably the best card that is coming out of Infinite Forbidden, is Gimmick Puppet Bloody Doll. This card is obnoxious. This reads, if this card is in your hand, you can reveal a Gimmick Puppet Exceed monster from your extra deck, special summon both one Gimmick Puppet monster from your deck with the level equal to the revealed monster's ranked and this card. So you get the special summon itself and a monster from your deck, no cost. It is insane. If this card is sent to the graveyard, except from the hand, you can add it back to your hand. That is, again, it's so ridiculous how free this card is. And then you can only use each effect once per turn. You cannot special summon from the extra deck the turn you activate either of these effects except for Gimmick Puppet monsters. Of course, this has to have these restrictions in it, because if this was in any other archetype, this would just be completely obnoxious. It has to be restricted in some kind of way. Another new card that they are getting is Gimmick Puppet Cattle Scream. This card is, if you can detach an extreme material from a monster you control, special summon this card from your hand or graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use this effect of Gimmick Puppet Cattle Scream once per turn. A Gimmick Puppet monster, Exceed monster that has this card as a material, gains this effect. Once per turn, you can target one monster your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to their field in defense position. That is going to be a common theme with Gimmick Puppet monsters. It is one of the ways that they FTK on the very first turn of the duel. Not with this specific effect, but just in general, that type of theme of giving them monsters is going to be recurring throughout these videos. Next up is Gimmick Puppet Little Soldiers. This is your main starter of the deck, I would say. Again, if this card is no more special summon, you can send a Gimmick Puppet monster with a different level from your deck to the graveyard, and this card's level becomes the set monster's level. So of course you can use this to send something like Bloody Doll. Bloody Doll effect immediately comes back to your hand. That's why it's like a very important starter. You can only use this effect of Gimmick Puppet Little Soldiers once per turn. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target up to 2 Gimmick Puppet monsters you control, increase their levels by 4 until the end of this turn. So this lets your level 4s become level 8s, because you care about level 8s more than you do 4s in this deck especially. Yeah, you just really want to get to your rank 8 plays. That's how you're going to be doing your combos and everything like that. And then we have one of the best field spells I have ever read in Yu-Gi-Oh! History, which is going to be Mansion of the Underworld Dolls. It's not a Gimmick Puppet card, but it does not matter because this card is just that powerful. Like I said, this is a field spell. When this card is activated, you can add one Gimmick Puppet monster from your deck to your hand. Gimmick Puppet monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, they are unaffected by your opponent's activated non-Exceed monsters monster effects. Once per turn, you can detach one Exceed material from a monster you control, target a Gimmick Puppet monster in your graveyard, special summon it to your opponent's field in defense position. You can only activate one of this card per turn. That is so insane. It has 3 effects that are all disgusting. Being able to, 1, search, so it's your best starter. It is also able to protect your combo and insulate it, and at the same time, it also works as an extender to be able to FTK as a combo piece. That is so gross. This card is insane. I can't believe it got all these effects, but here we are. For the last main deck card that Gimmick Puppet is receiving is Serviced Puppet. Target monsters your opponent controls up to the number of Gimmick Puppet Exceed monsters you control. Take control of them until the end phase. If you control a Gimmick Puppet Exceed monster, except this turn is sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target one Exceed monster in either graveyard, special summon it to either field in defense position. You can only use each effect of Serviced Puppet once per turn. This is like your backup if you cannot FTK your opponent. You get to search this card for practically free, so you might as well just run it just so that you can search a interruption if something does not go your way. You can at least get 1 to 2 interruptions through something like this. And then for the extra deck, they got 2 Exceed monsters. Both are very, very strong. We have Gimmick Puppet Phantasx Machina. It's a rank 8. You can detach 1 material from this card, add 1 rank up magic spell from your deck to your hand. Also, you can normal summon 1 machine monster in addition to your normal summoner set. If you special summon a Gimmick Puppet Exceed monster, except during a damage step, you can special summon this card from your graveyard to either field in defense position. Then you can add 1 rank up magic spell from your graveyard to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. Again, being able to search a rank up magic in this deck specifically and being able to add it back with its own effect is crazy. Next up, we have the Chaos version of Makima, which is the CXYZ Gimmick Puppet Fantex Makima. This is 3 rank 9s, but again, you're going to be summoning this through the effect of the rank up magic spell card, not through 3 rank 9s, of course, through level 9s, of course. If this card is special summon, you can add 1 puppet trap card from your deck to your hand. Again, it's so free to be able to search the service puppet. You're just going to be making this and getting that effect for practically nothing. You can detach 1 material from this card, special summon 1 monster from either graveyard to your opponent's field in defense position. If a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field, you can target one of them, destroy it, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half its original attack. You can only use each effect once per turn. Again, these little burn effects do add up over time, and it's very important to keep them in mind, and is the way that we are going to be OTKing or FTKing our opponent. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's it for all of the new cards that are coming out in Infinite Forbidden. Other than that, we are playing old cards that, some of the old cards that, of course, you need to be able to play. Things like Bisque Doll and Dreary Doll. These are just one-ofs that I'm in here, because the Dreary Doll comes up for a 2-card combo that you need later. The Bisque Doll is more of like just a choice that you can play. You can play more engine if you want to. That's where something like this can come in. I've seen builds that play things like Trade-In in here as well, because there's so many level 8 monsters, but I'm not a fan of that. Going 2 for 1 with an Ash Blossom does not really seem that great to me. I also have 2 copies of Terror Baby. Again, this is kind of like a Wolf Bark on summon, being able to special 1 back from your graveyard, and then you can banish it from the graveyard so that your opponent cannot activate in response to your Gimmick Puppet cards, which is very nice. And then we have 1 copy of Scissor Arms, 3 copies of the Puppet. This is like a Foolish Burial. 3 of the Field Spell, 1 Terraforming. I also play Set Rotation and Chicken Game because I want as many ways to get to this card as possible. I've seen some builds play Foolish Burial Goods with the Crystal Beast package to be able to search this as well. That's just a little much to me. I would much rather just try to keep it as consistent as possible and be able to break through as many hand traps that could be a problem as possible. So that's just my opinion on it. 2 copies of Droll, 3 copies of Crossout, 1 copy of Call By, 1 copy of Argent Chaos Force, and then the 1 trap card. Again, these are all in here just so that you are able to stop the hand traps that will affect you, because a lot of them don't. Things like, if you have the Field Spell, things like Effect Veiler don't work on your monsters, so which is very, very nice. You just play through them anyway. So yeah, like I said, we have 2 copies of Ash, 2 Veiler, 2 Imperm, 1 Nib, 1 Ogre, 1 Bell, and 1 Mourner. Again, these are all just in here for the Crossout Designator, because I'm like super worried about certain hand traps, I should say. One of the biggest choke points, in my opinion, is being able to stop the Bloody Doll. I think this card is just ridiculous, and it's so many bodies. I think it's really hard to still do a lot of the combos without Bloody Doll. So if you have like an Ash Blossom in hand and you're playing against this deck, I would Ash Bloody Doll right now. This could change in the future if this deck changes, but as of now, I think Bloody Doll is a primo ass target, just to be able to make sure that they do not get to any of the ridiculous combo lines. Again, for this side, we just have extra cards that you can, all the extra hand traps that you can play, just depending on how you want to do it, and 1 copy of Zeus. You can play Zeus in here because this is an Exceed deck, but again, you are also locked out if you use Bloody Doll, so it's like whatever if you don't need to play it. The extra deck is like all Gimmick Puppet cards anyway, so it's whatever. So we have 2 copies of Chimera Doll, 2 copies of Makima, 2 copies of the original Makima, so we have the C Makima and the original Makima. 1 copy of Gigantus Doll. You need a level 4 or a rank 4 in here so that you can reveal it off Bloody Doll to summon a level 4. You don't really ever make this. It's just so that you can summon something like Little Sorters from the deck off of Bloody Doll. 1 copy of Giant Grinder. This is also used in the FTK. Strings, also used in the FTK. We do play the 1 copy of Disaster Leo and Puppet Leo. There are combos where you can just win with Disaster Leo, because this also has a win con at the end of it. It is a different combo, and usually if you can do this combo, you can do the burn combo, but I like having this as an option where if they stop your normal burn combo, you can maybe in the next turn win off of Disaster Leo combo, which I think is pretty interesting. So I like having them in here as that like a little bit of a reassurance just to have. We also have 2 copies of the C40 Dark Strings rank 9. This is like one of your main burn cards. If it's special, you blow up things with string counters and burn for the highest attack of them, which is very good because a lot of times you're going to be destroying either another copy of itself or the CXYZ Gimmick Puppet, which is over 3,000 damage for their respective ones. And we also have 1 copy of Giant Hunter. So that is it for the actual deck. Again, if you're playing against this, you need to keep in mind of the Field Spell. This is the main thing. I don't think this deck is that threatening without the Field Spell. It's like that Tempai logic where the Field Spell is just really unfair and can alleviate a lot of the hand traps in the format, but you're not dead in the water with this deck as long as you have something like an Ash can really affect something like Bloody Doll. Even the other hand traps usually have some kind of niche, and luckily this only affects monsters too. what's it called? Yeah, they're unaffected by opponents activate non-exceed monster effects. So you should be able to use like things like Imperm still, which is very nice. But remember, you can't use something like Nibiru though. So you have to trade off which hand traps are going to be good against this deck. But yeah, overall, we're going to go ahead and jump into 2 combos, both of which are FTK combos and just needing either a 1-card combo or a 2-card combo. Both of them are disgusting. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into them. So we're going to do the 1-card combo first, which is just going to be the field spell. Again, this is just absolutely gross. So activate the field spell, search your Little Soldiers, normal summon your Little Soldiers, send the Bloody Doll effect in graveyard, then Bloody Doll effect in hand to reveal a rank 8 to be able to summon out your Cattle Scream and summon out Bloody Doll from the hand. Then you can overlay into a rank 8. Again, Little Soldiers is a level 8 because you sent a level 8. So you can now use the Exceed to be able to search the Chaos Force, use the Chaos Force, go right into the Dark Strings, and then from here you are able to bring back the Cattle Stream by detaching off of him, and then you can go into the Puppet of Normal Strings, add back the spell from the hand because you summon a Gimmick Puppet, or you summon a Exceed that's high enough to be able to add it back. Use the Strings effect to put a string counter on the Exceed. Use the Rank Up Magic spell to go into another copy of Dark Strings. His effect on summon will blow up the other one so that it can deal 3,300 damage to your opponent. And then this effect will summon itself out because you summon a Gimmick Puppet from the extra deck and it will add back the Chaos Force. And then from here, you can use the field spell to detach and give your opponent the other copy of Dark Strings. Then you can use the Rank Up Magic Argent Force to go over the Makima again, but this time you're going to go into the Fantix Makima. Then use the effect to search the trap. Keep in mind there's also draws you should be getting in here that I'm not doing, but it's just important to know. From here, you're going to use Makima's effect to give them the Gimmick Puppet of Strings, and then you can link off both the Dark Strings and the Makima to go into the Chimera Doll. From here, you can use Chimera Doll to search the Terror Baby, and because we have our extra normal summon still available to us from the Makima in the beginning, we can normal summon it to bring out any level 8 monster, and then you can banish the Little Soldiers, make Terror Baby a level 8, and then we are able to summon out the Giant Grinder, which is twice per turn you can pop and burn, use the effect twice, and then deal 3,033. So we did 33, 33, and 3,000 for obviously over 8,000 damage, which is crazy off of 1 card, and insulated from some hand traps because you started with the field spell. Crazy, crazy stuff. And again, you even have the trap card just in case something doesn't go your way. You were able to derail a little bit and go for a different line of play. So you actually have an end board that you can set up to if you want to. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the 2-card combo now. Okay, guys, 2-card combo. This is going to be Bloody Doll and Little Soldiers. Of course, we're going to be normal sending our Little Soldiers to be able to send the Dreary Doll. This is what I was talking about. You need just to play that little extra body just so that you have it, so you can do the other line, because you're going to need a level 8 in here that actually can revive itself. Then you're going to use Bloody Doll, reveal rank 8, and summon out the Cattle Scream again. Then you're going to go overlay into Makima. Makina effect to be able to search the Chaos Force. You can use the Chaos Force to go right into the Fantix Makina to be able to search the trap. Then we were able to bring back the Cattle Scream by detaching off of the Makima and then go into the Strings. We can use the Makima effect to special summon himself back and add back the Chaos Force. Use the Strings effect to put puppet counters or string counters on both of these monsters. And then we get Bloody Doll back as well because we didn't send it this time. We actually we started it with in hand, so we actually make sure we add it back if it's sent, when it's sent to graveyard. And then you link these two into the Chimera Doll. From here, you're able to use the Makima effect to give your opponent the Gimmick Puppet of Strings. Then you can use the Chimera Doll to be able to search Terror Baby and then summon out the Bloody Doll again. Because you don't have to summon what you search, you can just summon something else. Then you're able to use the Dreary Doll finally to bring yourself back to go into the Giant Grinder. Giant Grinder effect, deal 3,000 and pop the strings. Use the Rank Up Magic to go into the Dark Strings. That will allow you to destroy the other Makima to deal another over 3,000 damage. Use Terror Baby effect to be able to bring back any level 8 again. Use Little Soldiers to make it level 8. And then you are able to go into another copy of Strings. Use the Rank Up Magic Field Spell's Engrave effect to add itself back. Strings effect, give them each a string counter. Use the Rank Up Magic spell on top of the Dark Strings, and then use Dark Strings effect to blow up these two and deal another 33 damage. So that is going to be game on that. Again, over 9,000 damage. It is so silly how easily this deck just does this. It's only frustrating to me because I feel like that these cards don't really do anything else other than burn. I know, like, I'm happy Gimmick Puppets are seeing play because they've gotten cards for so long, and I think they're an anime deck as well, but this isn't the type of support and, like, I want to see. I don't want to see FTK potential. I want to see, like, actual, like, I like little burn stuff, not FTKs. So, yeah, let me know down below what you guys think about Gimmick Puppets. I think it's a little bit toxic, but that's just my opinion, and I think it's very important that you at least keep this deck in mind when you are deck building, right? Because this deck can be such a problem if you are not prepared for it. You could just auto lose to it, and you will feel so bad if you lose to Gimmick Puppet in the NAWCQ. So let me know down below what your thoughts are, or how you are playing Gimmick Puppets as well. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. But with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you did, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.